Uba Dilip Mukherjee way na kiriu Shempang baru riu thokon pau baka jela bar kepathai bor away bula imbat chong patsa a Singapore hadin ke jio I ju baka dan ke jehsa chirum cheneng habidai bar ke chiptrai kam ya ke National Education Policy ada arpau banda ka sngi ke khapra trai unai lur na kariau niru rangba ulami chikmat pan pau ke jing sngau ju habidai bar ke jitmu ban patri kam ya ke NEP hapo ke jela bar ke jekran ju bar club thakbor Shillong Press Club nakleng ju ule thu baka jela ka tun kam ban kiu chiprang But sajrong haka pulipti don come back ban patri kam ya ka NEP kat kum ka jing siam jong bolong bu baka jingong bakim biang gi infrastructure lane gi jing tai gi kamra class pat ki gi don kam kadai be tang gi Aidaw long shu baka jengki ban mi stock ban khang prasa patri kam EP kadai be ka jing bom kwa ban kiu chaprang bolong kat kum ka jela ka ban kam ban kiu chaprang pati gi don come back ban patri kam ki NEP but ki samla puli gi don kam ban nang puli company but kam chijong nak por banroy ke jingnang jing tep.
You stuck in the back. You want to sit here?
No, it's okay, sir.
You okay? All right. Okay, fine. The first thing I want to do is, do you each have a sheet of paper? Do you have a sheet? Blank? No. There's over here. Can you pass it? For you people is really very high. Because it takes so much courage and hard work to do what you do. So today we must make it meaningful, but I need to get a feel of how your brain works. So I'll give you some instructions just now, and you need to follow that and see how you respond. So once I start speaking next, to give those here, there's no duplication at all. All of you came up with a different outcome. Did you notice that? Right. Now, in the business world, of perhaps also in politics and education, when you get that and the boss, say I'm the boss and I'm giving instructions, then this person will start blaming the mess over there. They'll call it a mess. What the hell is this? I gave you instructions, this and that, and look what you've got. So they start blaming, and instead of brainstorming, they are blamestorming. And this is not going to be a recipe for creating a learning revolution. We need to resuscitate education in this state. Your future and those of your children and grandchildren and the rest of the citizenry over here depends on the decisions and actions you take today onwards. That's why we are meeting. David has been very kind enough to pay serious attention to this. Now, if you said, if the question was asked to you, who is to blame for this mess? The general citizenry would blame the chief minister or somebody like that. Now he's not over here, I'm here. Who is to blame for this mess that you came up with? Can you answer me? Who is to blame?
Us.
You are to blame? I'm to blame? Sorry?
You have to blame yourselves.
Yourselves, okay. You yourselves are to blame. Why? Why are you to blame? Why? If we accept that, I'm not accepting it necessarily, but I'm taking into account what he said. You are to blame because you took action and all that. And why am I not to blame? I could be to blame too. Why not? Or why? See, I gave the instructions. You can say that my instructions were not clear. You could say that, right? But I think my instructions were clear when I said fold it enough and fold it enough again. But then you could have got confused. And in your confusion, you never asked me any questions for clarity. And this is the state of our education system right now. There is no clarity. And there is confusion leading to concussion. And so our students are not future ready. They are future unready. Then we have the NEP. And the NEP has been in our presence for over 3 years now. In the preceding 3 years, nothing has been done. Other than saying, oh, we need more time to do it, we need, what did you ask me earlier, the infrastructure, we need sources on resources, etc., anything. They're throwing their vocabulary around. And that is the wrong reaction. The wrong action and the wrong reaction. The action is that there's no action being taken, other than complaining or making a noise. Any campus, whether it is Nehu or St. Anthony's or any campus that is talking like this is a disgrace. they need to be re-educated. Because I have no fear of facing them and saying what I'm saying to you, because whose lives are at stake? The next generation. Our children and grandchildren, their lives are at stake. And we are stealing their futures if we do nothing. We cannot say something must be done. Each person must say, I must do something. And by saying that and acting on it, right, your courage which you exhibit on a day-to-day basis will have meaning. Otherwise, your news will be stamped on paper, which will be used for fish and chips or some sort of food, right? And then it will be thrown away. It will not be a collector's item. Now, I'm an author now, and I've written 62 books, and each of my books, even if you had one book, it will change your life. They show you how to do something. Now, this is why we are meeting here, right? The NEP. The NEP is at varying phases of time, 64, 65, now 66 pages. Okay, nothing much. Okay, this is the NEP. But in order to speak about the NEP, complain about it, praise it, take action, whatever, you have to read it. What is it about? Now, let me give you the good news. The NEP has contents that have a lot of worth and value. We come from an ancient culture where India was the learning capital of the world. The greatest universities of the world were in India, right? North to south, east to west. And scholars from around the world either copied or memorized or with indwelling wisdom acquired, they traveled miles and miles for months and years back to their homeland to teach their own people what we have. What the West is claiming is theirs is not at all theirs. Not at all. Whether it is rocket science, satellites technology, even what they call artificial intelligence, which is a stupid expression. Artificial is not intelligent and intelligent is not artificial, right? It may be alien intelligence, it may be applied intelligence, right? Etc. It may be augmented intelligence, but it's not artificial at all. And it's leading our lives whereby there is a danger of us becoming the tools of our tools. And the average person now is not thinking, they're Googling, right? And if that's all they do, they're going to be Google-like and ignorant, right? Nothing wrong with Google. Google should be our slave, not our master, right? So, the first wonder of the world is the title of the book I wrote for the Minister of Education here, over here. The first wonder of the world is the mind of a child. And the first 5 years of a child, any child, the first 5 years are crucial. The first 5 years of a child determine the rest of the child's life, believe it or not. I was just talking to a friend of mine in Singapore on the phone, and she has a little baby, 15 months old. And I said, don't go getting a job, let your husband get the job, right? You pay attention to your child. First 5 years are crucial, right? And how your first 5 years were spent, I don't know. But my first 5 years were incredible. They were wild and incredible and all over the world, right? And I cannot thank my parents enough for that, but they did shape my life too. So I know what I'm talking about. But in general, as I was saying to David, I read 10 books a week or 500 books a year. And a lot of them is about education, innovation. I am the progenitor of a program called LIFE, L-I-F-E, Leadership, Innovation, Fellowship, Entrepreneurship, right, L-I-F-E. We need all of this in order to be future ready. Otherwise, our state is going to be future unready, right? Now, in the context of what we are talking about, you need to have strategic preparedness in our state. Now, of course, I'm not a tribal, but I love this state. I could leave and go somewhere else easily, but I don't want to until somebody takes action, right? And I repeat, we cannot say something must be done. We have to say, I must do something. Each of us. And if we come together collectively, there'll be a plurality that cannot change but transform our state for the best, not just for the better. We can become the learning capital of India and transform the rest of the states in India. As I was saying to David, most people in the major cities of India don't know anything about the Northeast. Shillong is not in their consciousness, right? Meghalaya is not in their consciousness. right? You can put it back on the map through your statements, through your articles, through your actions, and leading by example, college by college, school by school, institution by institution, we'll be able to do it. Now, how am I confident about what I'm saying, right? I could easily be cynical and say, well, Meghalaya is dead. Forget it. You know, this is a brain dead state as things stand right now. But we cannot leave it like that. I have seen, I'm advising the President of Mexico, President Vicente Fox, as talking to the Chief Minister, not Chief Minister, Prime Minister and President of Turkey, where they were using these techniques that I write about, that I'm talking about. Now you can say, so does the NEP, I'm asking the question on your behalf, so does the NEP have the solution to what India needs to do? No. It tells you what India was and that they have an aspiration to bring back India to that state of magnificence and magnanimity, sort of practically magnetically, right? Okay, you flick a switch, you wave a magic wand, and India is going to be great again. Now, I have the vision in my mind to restore India as the learning capital of the world. But by starting with Meghalaya to become the learning capital of India, and India collectively to become the learning capital of the world, right? Now, this is not for self-glorification of Indians collectively or individually. It is to help humankind. We are living in the most perilous times of our lives, of human evolution. At the flick of a button, press of a button, a switch can be flicked from down to up or up to down, and we can destroy our habitat, our planet. We are a tiny blue dot. We, in our lifetime, have the capacity and the capability to destroy our lives and livelihoods across the planet, right? COVID-19 is just a precursor. It is nothing compared to what we are capable of, right? Now, whatever conspiracy theories exist about COVID-19, true or false, it happened. It happened and happened again. And the only solution is learning to become learning leaders and leading learners. So I've written books with all these. You can have a look when you have a break. But whatever I'm talking about, I have written about already in entire books. But I wrote this so that the chief, the Minister of Education and his advisors and his councils and whoever he has in his team can wake up saying, okay, we have a solution. We now know what to do, right? You are free to ask me any questions you like, of course, and I would welcome them, because the more questions you ask, the more clarity you will get. And you're recording it, so you should be the first press call and the first gathering of people across our subcontinent for a start, and perhaps across Asia, where the issue is being addressed, right? First page of this book, right? I mean, but later you can have a look. I've got notes all over, right? See, I highlighted in pink, right? What are you talking about? I've written an entire book, yeah, which is called Learning How to Learn. But every one of these books is learning how to learn technology. Now, if our campuses had this, right? This morning I met a professor from Nehu. She used to be my neighbor, right? Her little boy had some of my books when he was like 10 years ago. And now he's in college and using the techniques in Hyderabad, and he's acing all his subjects, right? Effortlessly. When I teach the UPSC aspirants, and you can watch them at Mati, they're all going to fail because they haven't learned how to learn. So they go in a gathering and then they sit separately in a large auditorium and they're listening to a professor who's barely audible. His stuff is on 2 screens and they're falling off to sleep. And I told him, you cannot pass like this. There's no way. Now, if we start teaching every home, every parent and grandparent, uncle and aunt, and we create a learning society and learning neighborhoods. In Singapore, I created learning neighborhoods by having brain clubs in each neighborhood, right? And children were teaching elder children. The young were teaching the older. Can you imagine? Because their brains can pick up faster. You understand? So if I have CEOs of companies sitting here and children also, the children will pick up faster than them in learning how to learn. Their brains are wired differently. And we don't do this. And our principals and our teachers think they know it all because they are frozen and nothing grows in ice. And they are frozen in their degrees or bachelor's, master's, PhD, whatever. But they have stopped learning. They should be burning for learning. And July 2020, when this document came out, and now we are in September 2023. What have they done? Nothing. But what has happened? The lives of our children has been wasted, right? It's turned into garbage. And this is a crime. It's not just a mistake, it's a crime. And it's a shocking crime. And why has it happened? It's because each of us has not spoken up and done anything about it, right? I sometimes go to Bethany Society and I teach children who are blind and the teachers of the blind or their parents. I go to Mary Rice Center next door where they've got cerebral palsy and they've got other brain ailments, etc. and show them ways of how the brain is so magical, right? It's an amazing organ, right? In Singapore, I've been going and watching brain operations and heart operations and dealing with the patients. And it doesn't matter, I tell them, that you've had a tumor. You can still learn. The tumor has affected you, it's attacked you, now you've got to relearn. And by relearning, you will cure more than any medicine will cure. Learning is a medical strategy, right? Not mugging. We're not talking about mugging. Using applied imagination techniques. This rote, R-O-T-E, 3/4 of rote is rot. So you're going to rot your brain if that's the only solution we have, right? So now I'm going to open it up to you people to challenge me in any way you want, to ask me anything you want for clarification, because all I want is to help you. That's all. This is not a self-glorification encounter between us, right? I really want to help you, and I want you to be recognized for what you will do from now on, going forward, right? I really tried not to be here. My brother-in-law Charles Punrock knows this, right? I told you Patricia, I contacted Florette, I contacted some other people, the principal of St. Anthony's, etc., nothing, all fast asleep with their eyes wide open, right? Okay. Meanwhile, I heard all sorts of protests from Nehu, this way, that way. This morning I get news that Jamino Motho wants to now delay the NEP further and talk. I would love to debate that. I wish he was sitting over here. The encounter between us will last barely 2 seconds because he won't know what he's talking about. This document is a good document which is minus the most crucial thing in it. How to do this? It's no point me saying, oh, I need a heart operation, can you please operate on me? You don't know how. How are you going to do it? Same with our students. Same with our teachers. Tell me any campus that has it. Not one. Not one. So when I meet the Minister of Education, I have a presentation slide for him and things like that. Right? I'll explain it to him, but he's busy. Shampiang, his advisor, is busy. I'll say, give me one person, 1 point person, right? Some IAS officer, whatever. And I just deal with that. I don't want to deal with committees, nothing. All that is red tape, right? Let me deal with a point person who's an action person. Man or woman, I don't care. And we can make magic happen here, right? And this will happen collectively. And this state will then be the first state in India to make the NEP come to life, right? Right now I'm in discussions also with people asking my advice from Delhi, from the National Testing Agency, where they set the question papers. And I said, yeah, good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Please sit down. They have no clue about the heartbeat of what we're talking about, learning how to learn. They are telling you what to think, what to learn, not how to think and how to learn. So how are you going to do it? You tell me. By mugging? Okay, you can get first class students have been tested on this. Oxford, Cambridge, Berkeley, right? They've all been tested on this. INSEAD. These are the top schools in the colleges on the planet, right? They've been tested. Their students got A's because they crammed, right? They studied like hell, they crammed like hell. There's an international competition called PISA. Have you heard of it? PISA? Anybody here? Have you heard of it? Yeah, right? So, yeah, very good. So, where did India come for the last PISA test? 72nd out of 73 countries. Which place came first? Shanghai, not even the whole of China. Shanghai. I said to Rahul Gandhi, the Chinese fast asleep are smarter than Indians, eyes wide open. It's not because Indians are stupid. It's because we are arrogant. We think we know everything, right? The Chinese are hungry. They want to win everything. So what did they do? 15-year-old kids all went to Shanghai who wanted to compete, right? Tightened their belts and studied like hell. And the day after the results came, I had to give a speech in Singapore. And a friend of mine printed all the 5 books, so thick each, right? I went through them through the night, and I thought the Chinese had some magic pill, something really terrific where they are performing magic. Not at all. The Chinese mugged. That's all they did, they mugged. But they have the stamina and the hunger to do it. So they broke through those barriers. It doesn't mean they're smarter than Indians. They are smart, right? But they were hungry to win. We are not, right? There are Indians who excelled abroad. I did too, right? But they are the minority. More than 50% of our country is in the Stone Age. The British denuded us. They took away and blackened out all our learning systems, all the wisdom that we had, and now we are the most illiterate country in the planet. More than 50%. Can you imagine? This is a disgrace of our leadership. I don't care make in India and this and that. I don't give a damn about that, right? What is each of us doing, right? Each of us can become toppers in UPSC. I taught the topper a few years ago. Sampat Kumar asked me to do programs in Delhi, and there was a lady called Nandini. She was brought to me. I was speaking to a women's congregation there one day, and said, oh, she needs help because she failed her previous interview. She came with her father. I told her father, just listen, don't interfere. 4 hours, she went for exams, she came first all India. Now, how can a person who just failed now come first all India, right? Anybody can learn. All you need to do is to learn how to learn. Once you learn how to learn, the rest is magic. Okay? Questions, please. The use of it is precisely why we are gathered. It gives you and me, all of us, an opportunity to highlight this reality. It is not there at all. Not one page has how to do it. Now, there's this road is blocked in Lamtra Market. I was going there to pick up my copy of, it's so thick, National Curriculum Framework, right? It's 600 pages. I had lent it to the principal of Jethro School. Now, so I couldn't go down that road to pick up the book, and I came straight here. Now, that book is supposed to tell you, purportedly, how to do it. I would imagine because they say National Curriculum Framework, right? It's framing nothing, right? It's got a minor, baby level attention given to this is how you do geography. This is how you do chemistry or general science, etc. A little bit, nothing much. English is, whether you like it or not, the preeminent language of today across the world, right? No emphasis, just a sentence, English. That's it. Now, you are right. If you only have this place, you cannot. In defense of their status quo, which has no status for lecturers like those in Nehu and other campuses, is that, what do we do? How do we do? We need infrastructure. We need all nonsense, right? I taught people in Soweto in the mud, in Guwahati in the mud outside the airport. Students who couldn't do their maths or something, just in the sand. That's all, right? The infrastructure you need is the will to win. With a consciousness, we got to do it. No matter how, the money will come and magic will happen. But they are staying back and saying something. So what? You're going to have a grand building. It's going to be a cathedral, right? And it'll be your mausoleum. It's just for dead bodies, right? It'll be nothing.
You spoke about will to win. So
sorry?
what's the will?
Will to win, yes.
Yeah, come on. Because we travel.
No, because if the history, of evolution over here, and let's take it post-independence, and let's take the 50 years that have gone by, and that happens to be true, my response to that is, in any society, in any discipline, in any culture across the planet, no transformation, never mind change, no transformation means to transcend form, right? You're not the same person anymore. It will not happen unless you have leadership. You need learning leadership and leading learnership. We lack leadership, so we lack anything else. So it's the basic infrastructure. But you do not need any infrastructure other than what exists in whatever form to get started. 3 years, more than 3 years, July, August, September, 3 years, 3 months have gone by since this document came out. And not one person has demonstrated action into, I'm now smarter today than I was yesterday. This is what I've learned compared to before. Now, am I smarter today than compared to yesterday? Yes. Am I smarter yesterday than I was day before yesterday? Yes. Why? Because I'm reading, I'm writing, I'm drawing, I'm teaching, I'm learning, I'm driving my friends crazy with questions. What is this? What is this? Can you just check this for me? Even in marine engineering, there's a question in my head from years back. And I said, I'm a marine engineer, my background. From years back, and I said to them, this answer doesn't exist anywhere in Google. Just check it out for me. So, this, this is what I heard. I was not in the class, but some Christian brothers told me they were doing PhD in Nehru. They asked questions in class and they were reprimanded, and it was as if the lecturer is being challenged. Now, I'm inviting you people and welcoming your questions over here. And when a child asks a question, as I said, 0 to 5 is crucial. Your question is directly linked to an absence of leadership. I repeat, everything rises and falls on leadership. Leadership does not mean you have a certain position or a title, right? You can have a title, means you have authority, right? Okay, you can sign a document and you have authority. Doesn't mean you're a leader. And what we need here are not leaders. We need statesman leaders, right? Because we have a big problem. Right? We really have a big problem. The schools you went to when you were a little girl, right, don't exist anymore. Sorry, they don't. I've been to every campus.
So let's try to solve it.
Where do you see Meghalaya?
Where
do you see Meghalaya with the implementation of NEP 2020?
As it stands, you can't implement it. It's tied up to your question and to his. You cannot implement it like this. Because you've got to be a magician to implement it. Say I don't exist. My books don't exist. You can't implement it. Because they're not showing you how. If I tell you please go and operate on somebody on his brain or his heart, you can't do it. You don't know how.
So you mean to say that the entire NEP, the National Education Policy, is impractical?
Okay, well put. I don't mean to say. Everything I say it. And I mean what I say and I say what I mean. This manuscript, the contents of it have worth and value in terms of taking us back to the Rig Veda, to the Upanishads, to our ancient wisdom from, let us even go back 7,000 years from now, right? From 5000 BC on to now, okay? It can take us back to that. And with worth and value, certainly, right? Whether you consider the times of Ashoka or Chanakya or well before that, right? That wisdom, how it was accumulated, is magic in its own right? And the civilizations in our history books, there are many civilizations that have not been addressed, right? They have been doctored. They have been transmuted in ways by the people who colonized us. And their textbooks do not contain certain authentic historical truths, right? Now, our people, now these Indians that I value are the ones who went for the truth, right? I put over here, right in front, Satyameva Jayate, right? It is truth alone triumphs, right? And it comes from the Mundaka Upanishad. Now that is thousands of years back, right? Where our ancestors were the progenitors of truth coming, of wisdom coming from truth. Now what is this truth? Right? Oh, oxygen. We need oxygen. We cannot live on carbon dioxide, but plants can. So we start this discovery. But your question is to have critical thinking, right? There are 5 thinking modes we need. 5, not 1. Critical thinking, creative thinking, design thinking, strategic thinking, and systems thinking. You need 5 thinking modes. Nothing is being taught in our schools. Only mugging and then reproducing. That's all. Now, I asked these teachers, including the teachers of your, the principals and heads of your teacher training campuses, right? I said, so what is critical thinking? And now the time has come to explain. and they can't explain it. So I said, all right, what is creative thinking? They say, oh, that we never learned about that. And anyway, it will take a long time. So do you know how, and a common question or common response I got was, do you know how long it takes inventors to invent something, to get ideas and things like that? I said, how long does it take? He said, it can take years. I said, what? Why would it take years? If you know how to think, and if you know how to get ideas, why should it take years? And they say, at least 1 year at a time, or 2 or 5. I said, what if I give you 1 minute, and I show you how to think like that? Right? Yeah, immediately applicable. Brain skills for immediate action. And in 1 minute, I show you how to look at something in such a way that you can invent, ideate, create, innovate, entrepreneurs, etc. And they got shocked, right? So the thing is, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And we have a state where the students have been made unready. They're being dumbed down. They're being dumbed down and made to look smart because they got a bachelor's degree or a master's degree or a PhD or whatever, I don't care what, right? But they're being dumbed down. They're not globally competitive. They're not nationally competitive. Never mind globally competitive. And does that mean Indian students are stupid? Never. Not at all.